Caldero, if it's hot or cold, my heart is all metal. They metal, speeding up all pedals, trying to get inside your mind, you can't let them. Dead 'em. Caldero, if it's hot or cold, my heart is all metal. They metal, speeding.
Hi, this is We Love It Raw with A.S. Caldero, Chris Corey, The Future, and V-Ness. Please subscribe, listen, share, tag, make people hear this. This is a great show. Thank you guys. We love you.
We love it raw!
Hello and welcome to We Love It Raw, special edition, Raw Reunion. Today, we talk about, in my opinion, the best Raw of all time that occurred on Monday night. We had what they call Raw Reunion. It was a highlight of old stars, Hall of Famers, and legends. From the NWO to X-Pac and the Outlaws to Mr. WrestleMania to even the APA. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. First, we're going to start off and kick off this show with the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar storming to the ring, angry over the event that occurred a week ago when he got curb stomped during the contract signing for the Royal Rumble Triple Threat title match. He was calling out Rollins. He was calling him names. But Rollins refused to show up and hide backstage. He hid behind the Titantron. Words were exchanged. And then John Cena shows up. And he was ready for a fight. So all three of them were going at it. And then the Authority makes, I think, the biggest stipulation ever. It was a WWE app vote. And that app vote stated that should John Cena put everything on the line for the livelihoods of Ziggler, Ryback, and Rowan. We're going to get into that app vote result a little bit later on in the show. What did you think, Mr. Caldero, of the beginning of the show?
The beginning of the show started out awesome. I remember thinking that the first hour of Raw was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Then it started to decline a little, and then it raised back up later on. But overall, Raw was really good.
The beginning really
kicked it off.
It really had you going. It had you on, I think, the edge of your seat. It was exciting because you had three hotheads in WWE on the verge of clashing before you head into Philadelphia Sunday. Alright? But luckily, cooler heads prevailed when Hunter and Stephanie showed up to ease the tensions, I would say, in the ring. And at one point, I thought we were going to have SummerSlam revisited a few years ago when Brock Lesnar and Triple H squared off. Because those two were about to butt heads. But Stephanie icks that in a big fashionable way. Because he doesn't... I wanted to see it happen again. I mean, that was a good match back a couple of years ago at SummerSlam. I won't disagree to that. But if they would have butted heads again at a little bit of an altercation Monday night, that would have just made it even more complexing. You know? Because you'd think Hunter and Brock Lesnar would be on the same page. But no, I think those two really do hate each other. But
Speaking of Lesnar, right? he is so, when he finally goes to Raw, I don't even have to ask you, Chris. I know you get on your feet, and everybody at home is excited to see the champion. It's something about bringing it back to the old school essence that the champion doesn't always have to be there down your throat.
I mean, as much as
It's a good method.
Okay.
I've been saying this.
as much
People
as I
don't get it.
as much as I hate Brock Lesnar,
The method which he's treated was very well executed, whether you don't like him.
oh yeah, I'm not going to deny that. You know, as much as I hate Lesnar, I'm not going to deny he does bring a certain sense of excitement to the show.
And he brings such realism to the show because he's a former UFC champion. And a former, also,
WWE.
amateur wrestling champion. So he's not only just pinned into a box.
No.
And by the way, Heyman said that nobody ever was all three. Or even 2 out of 3.
No.
Right?
No.
Kurt
I don't
Angle on Twitter said, guess what? I was 3. I was an Olympic champion. I was WWE champion. And he was also... He won like the same as Brock Lesnar, amateur.
Yeah, he was an amateur wrestler.
So also, it's just like Heyman also corrected him after that and said, I was very specific. I said, undisputed WWE champion. So basically,
Angle was never the undisputed.
Exactly.
Angle was never undisputed champion.
there you go. So Angle was silent after
Yeah.
Heyman dropped some.
Heyman dropped the bomb on Angle right there. So
I think Kurt was quiet after that.
Yeah.
If I wasn't mistaken.
you might have been. I don't know. I didn't read into that. But that was really the best opening of a Raw in years. Except for the ones you have after WrestleMania, of course. But this was really, it iced the cake. And it's getting you interested in the Rumble match Sunday. It's leading you to get interested and get hyped for that match before the Rumble. You know? So, on to another topic I want to talk about is Raw Reunion itself with the Legends. First, we had the Legends panel of 3 Hall of Famers that helped shape the business to what it is today. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, a 2-time Hall of Famer. The Immortal Hulk Hogan, legend of the 80s, legend of the 90s, founder of the NWO, helped bomb out the Monday Night War. And then you had Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, the leader of D-Generation X, the founder of the Attitude Era. And that panel was just talking about with Byron Saxton about the Rumble, what they meant to the Rumble, and what they expect at the Royal Rumble with predictions. And shockingly enough, nobody picked Roman Reigns. One picked Bray Wyatt. I think 1 or 2 picked Bray Wyatt, and Hogan, I believe, picked Dean Ambrose, which is shocking. Do you think?
Hogan didn't pick Dean Ambrose. It was Ric Flair that picked Dean Ambrose.
Then who did Hogan pick then?
I remember Shawn Michaels picked Bray Wyatt. Didn't he?
I believe he did. I'm not
And
sure.
I was
don't-
impressed. I was like, Bray. Bray is my favorite newcomer. So it makes sense that it feels like HBK knows Bray's here to stay, whether he's a main event or being pushed or not. He's someone that you don't have to worry about.
Exactly.
Like Roman Reigns is getting a push because he needs to be molded.
Right.
Bray Wyatt does not need to be molded.
No, that's
Bray
right.
Wyatt just needs the right opponents. That's all he needs is the right opponent.
Now, let me ask you this question. Who do you think starts the Royal Rumble?
I don't know.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's Bray Wyatt
I don't think so. He's a heel.
or Roman Reigns?
They would do that to the babyface.
Roman Reigns?
Baby Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan.
It'll be interesting.
But I honestly have no clue.
But it was interesting to hear, like I said, back to what we were talking about. It was interesting to hear what the legends had to say about, the Royal Rumble. And Big Show came out and started blabbing his giant 450-pound mouth about his days in WCW. His days versus Flair. His days versus Hogan's. His days versus everybody else in WWE. And how he thinks he's making an impact in the industry. His last title reign was years ago. He hasn't had a title reign since.
He's just there to be a player in the game.
He's a pawn.
He's a pawn in the game. You need when you watch a movie, there's always characters that don't mean as much.
Yeah.
You need the characters that
He's a
don't mean-
pawn. And he's just in the WWE.
He's a minor character.
Exactly. He went from big name when he first came in to WCW and WWE, and they dropped him down to a pile of dirt.
He had a fast rise, so he's lucky he got that fast rise because he was a big guy.
Yeah.
Everyone said when he came from WCW, he had shitty wrestling skills.
It didn't show it. I mean, when he came into WWE, he proved himself.
It took him long. If you listen to Austin gave him a lot of shit because Austin is perfection in the Attitude Era, and he's like, you better get this right.
And he did.
Eventually.
Couple months. But he got it right.
And that whole time, he was already, like, fighting Stone Cold.
Yeah. And then when Austin, quote unquote,
Similar to the Roman Reigns thing. They're pushing him too hard.
and then when he, quote unquote, got run over by that car by Rikishi at the '99 Survivor Series, they put Big Show into the WWE title picture, and he won the title. But I don't think his reign was that long. But that's a whole different story. But back to what we were talking about with the Legends panel. Big Show comes out, starts talking his smack about WCW and his altercations, even in WWE. And then Flair gets up. And here I am talking about a 60-some-odd-year-old guy, a 2-time Hall of Famer, a 16-time world champion, standing up to a 450-pound giant. It ended with the Big Show knocking Ric Flair out. And who comes out after that?
Dun, 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 dun.
Roman Reigns spears the Big Show to end the segment. Not that big of a pop to end the segment. I was expecting different, but nothing too big. That was an epic fail.
Roman Reigns, I've been saying this. Roman Reigns is not ready for WrestleMania 31.
That was an epic
He's
fail.
not ready. But you know what? I'm going to go on a rant right now. And this is specifically to Roman Reigns. Let me tell you something, Roman Reigns. Mr. I'm a Samoan. And my cousins, The Rock, and the Usos. Listen, kid. You got a good look. You got a few flashy moves. But you need to either be quiet with your horrible, disgusting, lame, unclever promos. Just be the silent guy that knocks people out, okay. But please do not open your unclever mouth again. Unless you have gold. Because you are destroying your own self. I'm a nobody. Me saying this about you would do nothing. For your own sake, Roman Reigns. Stop acting like you're already given the keys to the kingdom and you don't have the skills to headline WrestleMania.
Okay, I think we're done with the rant here.
No. So this is what's going to happen. You're not getting it this year, kid. It's Daniel Bryan's year. Again. Because you couldn't get the job done. So guess what? Mr. Old Faithful, yes man, will do the job.
Okay, I think we're done with the rant here.
It's not because you said. It's because I finished. Continue.
Oh, brother. Whatever.
Roman Reigns.
Enough. Then we're going to go into Raw Reunion Part 2. This is where it got really good. Out comes the NWO. Hall, Nash, Six-Pac. And they're talking about, how they help revolutionize the industry along with the Monday Night Wars and, their time in WCW and the NWO and all that.
By the way, Tupac's.
Oh, yes. Tupac's. With Damian Sandow was X-Pac number 2.
As Biggie said on the song Brooklyn's Finest, get it? Tupac's.
Yeah, I got it.
So, that's pretty cool. I was watching it on bad quality TV, and I swear I thought it was X-Pac at first.
So did I.
And if I maybe saw it on this TV that I have, maybe I'll be like, oh, that's whatever,
That's
someone
Damian
else.
Sandow and all that.
But no, I was like, oh, it's X-Pac. I was happy thinking it's X-Pac.
And then
you see the real one
X-Pac come out.
and you see, oh, I forgot he's old.
But that segment was good. That segment was funny, though. But in the ring, though, it was good to see these guys back. That was, the faces of the Monday Night Wars in the 90s. But then the Ascension shows up. I said, you've got to be joking me. This wannabe tag team, who's fought dumbasses after dumbasses. Nobodies after nobodies, comes out and confronts the best faction besides DX of the 90s. Saying that they're better, they're stronger, and they're more talented. You haven't had a real match in WWE, so shut up. And that irked JBL. JBL got up and ranted at the Ascension. I was saying, okay, what's he up to? Rips off his shirt, and I see the APA. I said, okay. You got the NWO, and now you're going to have the APA? What else are you going to have? And then the Outlaws come and join the fray.
Oh, you didn't know?
And I like what Road Dogg said as he was coming out. No, wait just a Dallas Cowboy minute. He meant to say, no, just wait a cotton pick minute. He meant to say it, but he said, wait just a Dallas Cowboy minute there. Get it? Dallas Cowboys, and he pointed to his shirt because they were in Dallas. And they joined the fray. And I said, okay, we got a brouhaha going on here. We got the New World Order, the APA, and the Outlaws. I was thinking maybe they were going to go against themselves, one was going to go against them, and, the other, Turned out, they all beat the living crap out of the Ascension. And it was good for all time's sake to see JBL deliver a clothesline from hell.
That was awesome.
But I like what he did. He was like rotating his shoulder. And Michael Cole's like, don't tear a rotator cuff now. Don't tear a rotator cuff now. I'm like, oh, Cole, shut your mouth. Just let JBL do what JBL did. And that was that was another good segment on Raw Reunion. I mean, that was really good. Seeing these guys brings you back to your childhoods from the Monday Night Wars in the 90s to early 2000s. It was really good. I mean, and we just learned, now, speaking of Raw Reunion, we learned that the Outlaws are going to be fighting at the Royal Rumble.
Isn't it the kickoff show?
Yeah,
So it's on the pre-show.
yeah. But they're going to be at the Royal Rumble fighting the Ascension.
I'm going to watch it.
I'm watching that. But to make it more interesting, though, you bring out the rest of the tag teams, like the NWO and maybe the APA, and have them back up the Outlaws.
No, that's not going to happen.
We know
Costs
it's
too much money.
we know it's not. But wouldn't it be nice to see that? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be nice to see that?
Okay, I guess.
It would be nice, but we all know it's not going to happen now. But that's the pre-show to the Royal Rumble on Sunday. The Outlaws and the Ascension.
Also, we got a Divas tag team match, and I'm looking forward to that. You didn't.
No.
Okay, let me announce it. It's the twins,
the Bellas.
the Bella twins, versus Natty and Paige.
Really?
Yep. And I found it very.
So there is no Divas title match on
Nope,
Sunday.
there isn't. But I find this intriguing.
What's that?
Maybe this can be the day Bree turns on
Sunday?
Nikki.
On Sunday?
Maybe, or Monday, the day after. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's leading to that.
Because
Mania's coming, and
Yeah,
I
'cause
want them to
Sunday-
fight WrestleMania.
Because Sunday you're actually kicking off the road to
there
WrestleMania.
you go. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it could either be this Sunday or Monday. Because I
I'm
feel like-
leaning Sunday. I'm leaning Sunday.
So hopefully that really happens.
I'm leaning
I'm
Sunday.
looking forward to that match.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That's gonna be my third favorite thing to watch.
Yeah. And then you got the Rumble match itself.
Everything else on the card doesn't matter. Seriously. The Divas match, the tag team match,
And the triple threat.
I was getting to that. The Rumble itself,
Oh,
and then the triple threat.
Now, are they going to do what they
The
did?
Rumbles that always last, right?
Not necessarily.
Well,
I don't know if it was last year or the year before that. I forgot. But they had the Rumble match before the WWE Championship match. I think. I could be wrong.
I'm
But
sure
usually it's last.
I think last year was last.
Then it might have been the
Batista.
year before that. Then it was after the Royal Rumble, which I think was stupid. I could be wrong. I have to double check my sources.
So what are your predictions for the Rumble, man?
We're gonna get into that in a little bit. I want to get into the last segment, the John Cena match against Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah, that.
If Cena wins, Ziggy, Ryback, and Big Red get their jobs back. If Cena loses, he's out of the triple threat match Sunday in Philadelphia. You know the odds were in favor of the Authority. Cena was getting decimated. Short of real life. Got decimated again. As Rollins was about to hit the finisher, who appears on the Jumbotron? The franchise. Oh, no, wait a minute. You can't say franchise anymore with Sting. The Vigilante Sting appeared. And it was good to see. But it meant to leave you a little bit baffled. What was he doing there? And then it just dawned on you. He's there to screw the Authority once again. Cena wins. Big Red.
Which is a crock of shit.
What do you mean?
What I must say about what happened with Sting is, I want this to happen. I just think the setup is stupid. I didn't like it.
Really?
I think it's necessary. These steps are necessary to get to the point. But I think it was hokey. He rolls up a pin like
Yeah.
a distraction. Are you serious? Like,
But that's how Cena won. But,
how did he get a roll up?
I don't know.
Like, Seth wasn't even weak or anything.
I don't know. But,
Seth was about to end him.
yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make any. If you're trying to be logical with the story of the match, that doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, I have to take it because I do want Triple H versus Sting. So
And when Cena went and got those jobs back for Ziggy, Ryback, and Big Red, Hunter got on the mic, and he was livid. So you know they're building it up bit by bit, slowly. They're
by the
building
way,
it.
what is Sting wearing?
He wore that before. He wore that in WCW.
I don't know. Maybe he just looks weird to me because he's like on Raw. But
Because you always used to seeing him in WCW and all that.
But WCW, I never saw him look like that specifically. I feel like
Maybe once he did.
he just to me looks like, I don't know. Maybe I just see him old as an old guy. I don't know.
I don't know, but they're building it up now with what Hunter was saying. You know, Sting doesn't belong here. He wanted Sting, and the crowd was saying, "We want Sting, we want Sting, we want Sting." So you know now, it's official that they're building this up now to San Francisco at WrestleMania. So they're building it up now.
I definitely want the match. I feel like there's so much plot holes in what's going on, but I like where it's going. Like, for instance, it doesn't matter what Bray Wyatt's doing for WrestleMania. I'm in. There's just certain guys that just get me to the location. I'm not necessarily picky about how you get there, but sometimes it's ridiculous.
Now I'm going to ask you two quick questions here. When does Triple H make the match to Sting for WrestleMania?
I'd say very soon.
Okay. When does The Undertaker show up? If he does show up, when do you see him showing up for Bray Wyatt and issuing the challenge at WrestleMania?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even put that together. But yeah. Maybe Bray Wyatt makes a promo out of the clear blue sky. I'm just making this up. Clear Blue Sky does a great promo as always and says, "There's no one that has the mystique like me." You know, he'll say
Exactly.
Undertaker.
Yeah,
he'll tease the Undertaker
yeah,
thing,
he'll
and
tease
then
it.
you'll hear the Undertaker bell.
But when do you see it happening, though? I say early February. Like they did when he came back.
Hopefully that happens because
When they did,
I
like
want
he
that
did
to happen.
when Hunter, like when they promoted the Triple H Undertaker match at WrestleMania. Remember that?
I really think that if Raw was 2 hours, it'd be so much better. Because we have so much other. We have SmackDown. We have Main Event. We have
Nobody cares about Main Event.
NXT.
Nobody cares about Main Event anymore.
It's too. I honestly, the third hour kills me. It really does. Too much at one time. For me personally, it's
But-
starting to take a toll on me. Now
but
that
I-
I sleep early, when I had a late job working in a restaurant, I liked it because I was just like, but come on, like 11
But-
and change.
Aside from all that,
But if it was put more together, it would be so perfect.
right, but aside that, you see the Triple H Sting match being called probably next week or early February as well, right?
I think
And
so.
you see the Bray Wyatt Undertaker match being made same time around Sting, or or a couple weeks after that.
I think it can be the Bray Wyatt Undertaker thing could come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it can be like around Fastlane.
Which is what, mid-February?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it doesn't need to be rushed.
Or maybe even at Fastlane you can make the match.
I don't think Undertaker will fight not at.
Or maybe the
WrestleMania.
night after.
I don't picture Undertaker fighting not at
No.
WrestleMania.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I feel like he's just like he's there for
Yeah.
the big show.
All right.
No pun intended.
And that's all that we have to talk about
It's Sting.
for Raw. on Monday. That was the major bullet points of Raw Reunion 2015. I thought it was good. What was your opinion of the WWE Universe? Our YouTube fans? What was your opinion? We'd like to hear from you. Did you enjoy Raw Reunion? Do you think there could have been improvements to Raw Reunion? Or do you think Raw Reunion just completely sucked?
I thought it was good, but just like I said, it's just filler time. If it would be 2.5 hours, it'll be better.
But that right now closes We Love It Raw.
Indeed.
All-Star Edition. Now we're going to briefly go into Rumble 2015. Our predictions. Mr. Caldero, we'd like to start with you. Rumble 2015 predictions.
I'm going to go less with predictions and more of what I want.
Okay.
What I want is for Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble with Roman Reigns, maybe the last 3. Also, I want Bray Wyatt to be a heavy influence in the Rumble. Like, as far as, like, he's not going to win. No one really cares if he wins or wants him to win. But just to give, the match itself spunk in the middle of the match. We need those fillers to because sometimes the Rumble could get boring if you don't have the right characters filling up time. And I think a lot of the tag team matches are going to collide. Like, the tag teams, like the Rhodes brothers are going to be doing a little feud with the Uso in the corner.
Exactly.
Like that new team, the Masters of the Universe.
No, the Ascension.
No, Masters of the Universe is Cesaro and...
That's what they named themselves now?
Yeah. Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. And their logos and their mascot is a kitty with laser eyes.
What?
Yep. Check it out, people. Masters of the Universe. But I think the Rumble's going to be awesome. Like I said, Daniel Bryan should win. It may be Roman Reigns, but I don't really want it to be. I think that my heart would drop.
We'll see what happens. My Rumble prediction is...
Oh, I didn't say the main event prediction. Like I said, what I want Brock to win. Simple as that. The reigning, defending WWE champion.
My Rumble prediction, 2015, Sunday in Philly, is as follows. Seth Rollins walks out of Philadelphia, WWE champion.
That works for me, too.
All right. For the Royal Rumble match itself, here's how I see it going down. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt as the final 4.
That's a good 4.
When it comes down to the final 2, it's Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. That's how I see it happening. Or, if it's not Dean Ambrose as the final 2 with Roman Reigns, it could be Bray Wyatt.
You mean the Eater of Worlds?
So it's either Dean Ambrose or Bray Wyatt that will be the final 2 with Roman Reigns to determine who headlines Mania in March. That's how I see it. That's my bold Rumble prediction.
The main event?
I told you, Seth Rollins.
Oh, Seth Rollins. What I forgot and what I want to ask you is the Divas match. Who you think is going to win?
The Bellas.
The Bellas?
The Bellas.
I think the exact opposite.
You say Natty and Paige.
I think that they're going to lose because of what I said, the turn. And even if she doesn't necessarily turn on Nikki, she may have done a mistake that leads,
Right.
just plant the seed of it's happening.
It's going to start happening, right?
So I say Natty and Paige are going to win.
All right, we'll see what happens. Tune into the Royal Rumble Sunday on the WWE Network for only $9.99. Nueve.
Or pay $60, $70 like a buffoon.
Yeah, like an
idiot. You're not doing nothing to me. Go be a buffoon.
And this week on WWE Network is nothing too spectacular. Just getting you ready for the Royal Rumble on Sunday by revisiting old Royal Rumbles. There was a Santino draft Royal Rumble lottery.
Oh,
thing
what? What you said?
Oh, excuse me.
What was that you just said?
They're revisiting old Royal Rumbles.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's a Santino... Thanks.
Oh. This is just... Sorry, certain things react to certain things. So, yeah, what is that about? Is it just a recollection of the Rumble stuff?
Yeah, by the numbers and all that stuff. Don't do anything.
What is it, a countdown?
I guess so. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to go bother watching it. It didn't sound that too spectacular.
Yeah, it didn't sound spectacular. I'm watching NXT tonight. So. And I gotta be honest, I thought of this when I was... Remember last week I said, you guys are overrating NXT a little bit. It's good, don't get me wrong. It has great moments. But come on, like I said, it's an hour. They have, when you have an hour, you gotta bring out all the fireworks for an hour. And usually, and to be honest, I thought of this, I skip half the matches. I look for Sami Zayn, because he's the champ,
Adrian Neville
fighting Kevin Owens, because that's a cool feud that's developing.
What about Adrian Neville?
Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn are having a rematch tonight for the championship.
Oh, it's tonight.
But Kevin Owens is the real villain in the situation.
Okay.
And he's like a cool, realistic, normal dude. He's kind of like Bray. He has a normal body.
Right.
He's not like shaped up. He's not a John Cena cookie cutter. He's a regular guy, and he's a beast. And I always watch it for Charlotte, for the Divas, for Sasha Banks.
So check that out tonight if you're a subscriber to the network, NXT. Thursday Night SmackDown, just briefly. Daniel Bryan versus Kane for a spot in the Royal Rumble is on the line with Daniel Bryan. Also, as courtesy by the CEO Triple H, Roman Reigns. What am I getting at? Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan all have matches to determine their spots in the Royal Rumble match.
Interesting.
Yes, very, very interesting. And one last thing before we close out the show. WrestleMania 32. As many of you know, if you get the SMS messages by WWE, that it will be in AT&T Stadium, home of the Cowboys. So be sure to watch the press conference announcing the deal to bring WrestleMania to AT&T Stadium. Somehow, some way, I still think Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, had a little bit of say bringing it in there. And with Mania now going into the home of the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium, the record of 93,000 at the Silverdome back in the 80s is going to be shattered.
Ooh.
What a way to do it. You're going to shatter a decade-old record. Finally, you're going to shatter a decade-old record by bringing it to one of the biggest stadiums in the NFL. Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium on April 6, 2016. Anything else you want to add to the show?
Yes. One last thing on my behalf. I listened to a new podcast by Vince Russo. It's probably not new. I probably sound like an idiot, but it's new to me. And it's called Pyro and Ballyhoo.com is the website. And the actual podcast is called The Swerve. I very much enjoyed it. He is kind of like a genius in a way, but he's also nuts. So it's very interesting. I really like it. I'm gonna keep up. The one that I listened to was with King Kong Bundy, and it was a very good interview. And King Kong Bundy, when did you ever hear of King Kong Bundy doing a podcast? And he said a lot of things about Vince, about Hulk Hogan, about Andre the Giant. He said that Andre the Giant was an asshole, that he was always drunk, and that he was always intimidated pretty much by all the bigger guys.
What's the name of the podcast by King Kong Bundy?
It's called The Swerve. The website is Pyro and Battle.
Can I get on the podcast app on my iPhone?
No, that's his own website. Like, that's his own.
But the Vince Russo one I can get on.
The Vince Russo one,
I can get on the podcast.
I'm pretty sure it's easy
I'll
to
check
get.
it out,
If
though.
I could get it,
I'll check it out.
it's pretty easy to
I'll
get.
check it out.
And there's a part 2 that I can't watch. I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch, but you have to pay $3 for like a month thing.
For what?
But you actually get video podcasts of him, and he has a part 2 with video of King Kong Bundy talking with him.
Wait a minute, Vince Russo?
Yeah.
Really?
So that's kind of the surplus super deal. When you pay the extra $3
I'm
a
gonna
month,
check it out as soon as we're done
you
with
get
this.
all the interviews,
Okay.
actual visuals.
When I'm on the 7 train going back home, when I'm on the Flushing line, I'm gonna check that out.
There's probably newer episodes, but I wanted to hear the King Kong Bundy one.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
That one I very and they really tore a lot of assholes in that one.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out. But that's about it. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, to close this out for the future, and Mr. Caldero, we gladly appreciate your viewership. We gladly appreciate Shantae J for her outstanding comments to our show. Always adds a lot of insight. And we look forward to the Royal Rumble on Sunday. We will be doing a show next week. Post Royal Rumble and Raw. So be sure to check that out next week. For the future, Chris Corey, for Mr. Caldero. Signing off. We'll see you after the Royal Rumble.
Keep it real and keep it raw.